So, a little over a month ago, on April 25th, I ran my first marathon, and here are the top things I learned from that whole training experience. Number one is the importance of carb loading. I obviously knew that carbs were important, it's just how many more carbs you need when you're burning that many calories. My carb loads before my long runs didn't really exist during training. I thought an extra piece of fruit or two would be enough. But when it came to race day, I really properly carb loaded 3 days out, and I think that was the difference between hitting the wall at mile 15 versus mile 20. And speaking of the wall, number two is that the wall is very real. Around mile 20 for me, I know that's the common number, but that's where I felt it. Things started getting really hard. My joints were aching, I had a horrible headache, and I really just wanted to quit. But my muscles could keep going, so I didn't. And in that time, which was honestly probably the some of the most intense physical strain I've ever done in my life, I just had to focus on setting a small goal for myself. Something as simple as get to the next water station or even get to the next street sign or something like that. I didn't want to think about how far the finish line was, but if I thought, I just have to get to the next water station, that's something I could do. The third thing I learned is that the running community is super nice. There was tons of support out on the course, people just in the local neighborhoods handing stuff out to the runners, giving water out, and it was just really nice to see. The fourth thing I learned is that your training doesn't need to be perfect. I got very neurotic about my training and I was very worried that I wouldn't be prepared for the marathon because I had never done something like this before. I got sick about 3 or 4 times during my training block of about 3-ish months. And, just with school and life, eventually, I wasn't able to do every run I wanted to, but when it came to race day, I was still able to perform about as good as I wanted to. It is very true, I'm not actually a very good runner. I'm not very skilled, but if you're just trying to complete a race, just a certain distance, if you just get the time on your feet, you're gonna be able to do it when push comes to shove. If you're aiming for a very specific pace or you're just much more skilled, of course, you're gonna be able to miss fewer training sessions. But overall, no matter who you are, if you miss one or two, it's not the end of the world. The fifth thing I learned is that if you paid for it, you might as well have fun. These races are not cheap, and you can't really just hop in and run if you feel like it for fun. So, a lot of times when I'd start feeling bad, I'd honestly just remember that I paid a lot of money to participate in this race, and I didn't want to give up. Plus, I'd say interact with the crowd, tap on all the signs that people have up, do all the high fives with spectators. It honestly just makes it more fun and it's going to boost your mood and reduce your RPE and make the miles fly by. I hardly even noticed that there was a race, frankly, until about mile 15 when things really started to die down because those first 15 miles were genuinely just so fun with so many people. The final thing I learned from this training block is something that really surprised me, and that's actually that resistance training and endurance training complement each other. Obviously, I'm a kinesiology student, and I know that they don't necessarily inhibit each other in most scenarios, but I was very surprised that despite being more physically active than I had been in my entire life, basically, during this training block, I actually felt more energized. Just doing more cardio, doing more running actually made it so I had more energy in my day and I was able to recover from my lifts faster. Plus, I still progressed in the gym. I still got stronger, all while increasing my mileage. So it definitely is possible. It's just about your priorities. Obviously, you won't be able to focus on everything at once, and you won't get maximum results the more you focus on and sort of spread yourself thin, so to speak. But that is not an excuse for why you can't still progress in the gym and you can't run long distance. They're both very possible with the right structure as long as you program it smartly.